So then in Season 6 with Helsingborg, we are going to be in the Champions League eventually. Obviously, it's not going to come around until June, July time, but we are hopefully going to be making our way through those qualifying rounds. We've also obviously got the Swedish Premier Division, the Swedish Cup as well, which I'd love to win this. At some point, I'd love to win the Swedish Cup. Obviously, being the 1st of February, some transfers have already happened. In fact, quite a few, and I've been clever, I've been sensible with a couple of them. Stefan Hussein has left going to Halmstads on a free transfer. Victor Tobiasen has left going to Sirius on a free transfer. Benjamin Orn has left going to Varnamo, also on a free transfer. This one I wasn't too sure was a good idea, but I went, you know what, we don't need him anymore. Emili Gumbau has also left, signing for Inter Milan, who for some reason are now called Blue Nieri. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming some licenses have changed, basically because of FM24 and FM25. But he's gone. He's gone to Inter Milan. We know it's Inter Milan. And he's gone for £1.4 million, potentially going up to 1.6. And there is also a 50% sell-on in there. I had a minimum fee release on him, and I intentionally took less than that to make sure I got that 50% sell-on clause in this Gumbau deal. And another player who's also left and moved over to a team in Italy that has changed its name is Armish Pineda. He has gone over to Kaskivat. I'm not quite sure. He's gone for £475,000, potentially going to 825. Once again, there is a sell-on in that deal. It's AC Milan, okay? It's AC Milan. I don't know why. I feel like there's lots of teams that have changed their names, and I'm just going to find them and get really frustrated because I don't know who they are at the moment. So just having a quick look, I think it's just going to be Serie A sides that have been affected, and it looks like it is just going to be Inter and Milan that are two teams that have been affected. Everyone else seems to kind of kept their regular name that they normally have. In FM24, obviously Napoli is Parthenope, which we know that one, but yeah, so okay, fair enough. Something's happened. Some licensing stuff has gone on, but whatever. Joining the club then, we have Dennis Ali. He has signed from GIF Sundsvall for £400,000. I thought it was 600. It's £400,000 and a part exchange of 2 players that I basically went, I want to buy you and I feel wrong for stealing him from you. I'm going to give you some hopefully youth prospects or even some players that might get in your first team. And those players aren't very good, but they wanted them and I went, you know what, take them. So they have got Fahla Abid Ali, who's an 18-year-old Iraqi striker, and Simon Rossender, who is a 20-year-old Swedish midfielder. Hopefully both of these might have some potential. This is what I might try and do moving forward. If I'm buying a player from a Swedish side, just give them anyone that they want part exchange. If they are not in my first team plans or not highly rated as a youth player, just give them to them because I'm not going to need them. And in fact, that's going to help build the nation. I've got plans. The other transfer that we did is Stephen McAllister, who is a Northern Irish international with just one cap to his name, a right winger, maybe a left winger as well, signed from Derry City on a free transfer. I think this one could be a good bit of business, although he's one of those players that I think he's deceptively bad. Like, this shape makes me think he's good, but he might also be really bad. But we've got Stephen McAllister, he was a free. So that's all the transfer business we have done so far. Obviously, we've loaned Pineda back for the season. We have not loaned Gumbau because he wasn't really playing for us. We still have a massive £18 million to spend. We've got a whopping big chunk of money come in, which I can't even remember what that was for. We got some money come in this season. Is it just from... I was players sold. 13... That's right, I've just remembered. I'm not sure whether it's going to be on our list of news, but we sold a clause for a player for silly money. I feel like I could probably look and maybe find out, but I feel like we sold a clause for somebody and it was silly money when you look here. So we can get 3.6 million for Osorio. It may well have been. It was. I know who it was. It was Julva. It was Julva. We basically sold him. We took on a bit more money from them. So there was the 50% sell-on in there, and they wanted to give us 13 million for that 15%. Or 50%, sorry. And I went, you know what? Do it. I feel like you're never going to sell him for £30 million. Yes, he's good, but let's just take that money now. We can use that money now. It's no use to us in about 3-4 years' time when hopefully we should be a Champions League side. Anyway, the start of this season has gone all over the place, so let's try and bring this thing back on track. We've got £18 million to spend. We are going to do some transfer business in this transfer window, so let's jump forward to the end of it, see how well things have gone, and also let's see what happens in the Swedish Cup, which I would love to be able to get to the final. I'd love to get to the final because at the moment we just seem to fall either quarterfinal and semi-final, or sometimes even in the groups. Right then, on the 2nd of April, some more transfer business has happened. Jose Luis Pinedo has left, moving to AIK. He was one of those that came through, not Dam, the other one, Atletico Madrid, not really, but you know what I mean. He has left. He's gone for £44,000 because I wasn't going to play him. Potentially going to go a bit higher. I'm hoping going there, maybe he might get some, he's got more chance of getting some game time, although judging by the fact that he's in the reserves, maybe not. We've also sold Frederick Nissen to Sundsvall. We just weren't playing him. He's gone for just £11,000. We've also sold Frank. He has moved over to Elfsborg for £26,000. Once again, another player that just was not playing for us. Joining the club, we've signed Rudy Usman, who is a 20-year-old Indonesian international right-back and right-winger. He's cost us £60,000. He's an absolute bargain. Every Football Manager save, you'll either get a world-class Indonesian footballer or a world-class Thai footballer, or maybe both. I feel like Usman might be the world-class Indonesian footballer, and I'm hoping he sticks around for quite a while. He's going to be our starting right-back for the season at the very least. Obviously, I feel like there's going to be interest in Usman within the next couple of years, so we need to kind of hold on to him. We've also managed to do some lots and lots of loan deals, to be honest. We've sold some other kind of fringe youngsters as well. Nothing really big to call out. Luis Toro, I guess, is quite important. I feel like there's some potential there going out on loan to Varnamo. That could be quite interesting. Juan Davis as well going out on loan. One of our many goalkeepers that we have needs to get some more game time. Nothing else really. Robert Collins going out on loan, a player who looks like he's awful, needs football. He's getting better. I feel like he's never going to get any good though. The big news is we have made it to the Swedish Cup final, which does not take place until May. So in a couple of months' time, or a month and a half's time, we've made it to the Swedish Cup final. We have done pretty good, obviously, in the group stages, winning every single match, beating Sirius, Usters and Hammarby. That's their youngsters, I believe. That's not their first team side. We then beat Elfsborg in the quarterfinal. We beat Gothenburg in the semi-final. Bingo with the goals in this one. He's good, isn't he? He's very good. We are not going to keep hold of Bingo, are we? I feel like he's going to leave possibly in the summer, because lots of European sides are going to want him. But anyway, we've made it to the Swedish Cup final. We'll be playing Malmo. We have not kicked off our Premier Division season just yet, but we will be very soon. Djurgårdens and Norrköping have managed to kick theirs off, both with a win. In case you're wondering as well, tactically, we are not changing anything and we're not locking anybody into this squad at all. However, there is one player that I completely neglected to tell you because he joined in November, because he hadn't had a club since the summer after leaving Atletico Madrid, and that is Memphis Depay. The 34-year-old Dutch international winger, striker and attacking midfielder has joined until the end of our season. I feel like this might be his last year playing football anyway, and I think we might look to deploy him in an attacking midfield role. I'm not going to lock him in at the moment. I'm just going to see what the kind of assistant manager wants to do. Maybe they want to put him there. Maybe they want to stick him on the left wing. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Memphis Depay is in the squad. I just saw his name there, which kind of reminded me that, hold on, we haven't mentioned him. So we've got Wanyama still at the club. This will be his last season as well. I'm not sure he's good enough to play for us, but he'll probably still get the odd game here or there. Let's jump forward then to the mid-season point. We're also going to see what happens in the Swedish Cup, which we'll jump to straight away, I think. And hopefully, we are still at the still towards the top. We have not kicked off the season. Hopefully, we can kick off the season well and go towards the top of the table. So, on the 7th of July, we are currently sat 6th place in the league. This is the halfway point of the season for us. 25 points on the board. We're a long, long way behind BK Häcken, but we're actually not too far behind Djurgårdens in 2nd place. I'm kind of happy with this. This is pretty good. You can see average rating there. Memphis Depay is 7.38 with 6 assists as well. He started 12 games. Is he starting on the wing? He is. He's playing a lot of matches from that left-hand side, getting a lot of assists and goals. In fact, scored a brace against Malmo recently. In the Swedish Cup, we did manage to win it 3-1 against Malmo. Vilmalson, Bingle and Depay with a penalty, giving us a 3-0 lead. Bjork scoring a consolation goal for Malmo on the 87th minute. But we have won our first proper trophy with Helsingborg, hopefully the first of many. And annoyingly, it doesn't appear in our competitions because basically it was last season's version of the Swedish Cup that we managed to win. This doesn't work in Football Manager. I understand how it works in real life, but in Football Manager, it doesn't kind of make sense. Anyway, we're also not quite into the Champions League. We have been drawn up against FC Midtjylland, so a Scandinavian derby of sorts against the Danish side. I'm hopeful that we can get past them. It will be good. I don't really want to get into the Champions League. I just want to get far enough, drop down to the Europa League, and then we can hopefully pick up some coefficient points. Speaking of coefficient points, let's take a look, because obviously the real seasons have now ticked over into the next year. So last season we actually finished on a 7.25, which is not a good season. We are losing a 4.26. So this season right now is going to be a year of growth. If we sort it, okay, we're not moving anywhere, so we're currently 11th place. If we have a very good year, anything better than a 4.625 is going to be quite an improvement. If we can get to 10, that's going to be massive. because that'll put us on 48, maybe 49 points, which if we sort by this, that one there, 49 points will be enough to keep us in 11th. Okay, we might be stuck in 11th place for quite a while, which makes sense, because 10th is actually where people start going in the Champions League. 11th is fine. Right, I haven't mentioned transfers just yet. We'll come back to those in a moment. We are going to jump towards the end of the transfer window. We'll do all of the transfers in one lump for the window just gone. Right, let's fly through the transfers then as quick as we can. Gabriel Harding has left, signing for O'Higgins on the 1st of September. He actually left well earlier on in the transfer window. Moved for £235,000, potentially going to £300,000. Just wasn't very good. Shinosuke Kinoshita has also left. He's gone to Kashiwa, and he has gone for £17,750. Just never played for us. Christos Gravius has also left the club. He's gone to Olympiacos, another player that wasn't really playing for us too often. He's gone for £160,000. And we knew it was going to happen. Correa Bingal has left. He's moved over to Chelsea, but he has returned on loan until the end of the season. He's gone for £1.4 million. I can't remember if there was a sell-on in this. I don't think there was, because I think that was his minimum fee release. So we've just lost a potential load of money from Bingal. But one that we haven't lost money on, it's frustrating that he's gone, but one that we've definitely got a sell-on in is Vilnielsen. He has moved over to Juve. The £900,000 potentially going to £1.4 million, immediately going out on loan to Sampdoria as well. This, I'm hoping, will pay off dividends in a few years' time. He's only 21. He's had a good couple of seasons with us, or a season and a half. 15 goals last year, 5 so far this season. We've lost 2 big players, but we have brought in some replacements. It's a lie that they're direct replacements, because one of them's a goalkeeper. It is Omar Mustafa, 18-year-old Sudanese international goalkeeper signed from Al Hilal Umuradaran, might get their name, from Sudan. Good team to basically buy some decent young players from. Yeah, he's cost, what was that, £450,000, potentially going to 675. He's a very good goalkeeper, one for the future, or one to get sold with a nice big sell-on fee. And the other player to join, who is also not a striker or a winger, is Riccardo Commentale, an Italian midfielder who is going to basically get played in that defence midfield role. I have been retraining him for as long as I can. He has signed formerly of Juve. He was actually released from his contract, or his contract expired. We picked him up on a free. Good little player. For a 20-year-old, good little player. I'm hoping we can keep him around for quite a while, because he's very good. Maybe we can try and build our team around him, although being Italian might end up going back to Italy at some point, especially because he's got a minimum fee release of £1.4 million. I can never get rid of these from contracts, by the way. I'm not just ignoring them. They get locked in, and I just bump them as high as I possibly can, so maybe we try and give them a new deal, get that minimum fee a little bit higher than that. So that has been our transfer window. We have loaned out a whole bunch of players as well. Actually, this one we didn't mention, Juan Francisco. He's left on a free transfer. He's gone over to Kalmar FF. I think there's some potential here, but we were never going to play him. He's gone over to Kalmar, and I'm hoping he's going to get some game time. He is in their first team, so that could be possible. Basically, that might actually help Kalmar turn into a much better side, which we can kind of hope for. From a competitions perspective, it's a mess, isn't it? We've got Champions League, we've got Europa League, we've got Europa Conference League, but we have made it into a European competition. We are in there, nestled 22nd at the moment. We have lost in the Europa League. We lose to VTSC, which is Vitoria, if I'm not mistaken. And in the Champions League, we got knocked out by FC Midtjylland. So we actually fell at the first hurdle. We did get some form of consolation, so we got some coefficient points from that. We then lose to VTSC. We get some coefficient points from the draw there. We then win against Utrecht 5-1, but we did also lose 4-1. So, we do get coefficient points in the actual Europa Conference League, though. We should be picking up lots and lots of points. We have Ammonia from Cyprus. We have Swift Hesperange, that's what they're called, from Luxembourg. We've got Servette from Switzerland, Bote Plovdiv from Bulgaria, Dunstreda from Slovakia, and Dynamo Kiev, obviously, from Ukraine. So, we should be able to get some wins. I feel like we might be able to win all 6 of these, and that would help out our coefficients no end. Also, in the Swedish Premier Division, we're 6th. Feel like we're not winning the league this year. Let's focus on Europe for the next few months, shall we? And speaking of, let's jump forward then to probably around December after the Dynamo Kiev game. Let's go for that. Right, first of all, we haven't won the league. In fact, we haven't even qualified for Europe. We finished in 6th place, which is not good at all. I don't think we get, or maybe we get Europe through the cup. Maybe because we won the cup, we get Europe anyway. That might be our saving grace here. Although maybe not, because maybe us winning the cup was technically this European competition that we've already entered. So maybe we need to win this season's Swedish Cup. And by this season, I mean season 7's Swedish Cup to get into Europe instead of going through the league. I'm not quite sure. In the Europa Conference League, we did finish 8th place, so we have qualified directly into the round of 16, I believe. We have won 4. We've beaten Dynamo Kiev, Dunstreda, Botev, Plovdiv, and absolutely battered Swift, Hesperage. We have drawn with Servette, and we did lose against Ammonia, a 2-1 defeat. Not ideal there. Just briefly looking at the squad as well. So Bingo, top goal scorer. Pineda, second top goal scorer. Obviously 2 players who are out on loan at the moment. Hugo Silva. Did I even mention Hugo Silva? I feel like I didn't mention Hugo Silva. Maybe we've loaned him for 2 seasons. That's why I didn't mention him. He was here last year. He's still here now. We might struggle next year. We don't have a striker. We don't have a right winger. We might need to work out how we can replace that. Obviously, we lost the Icelandic striker, a winger as well. Next year might be a big season when it comes to actually trying to replace some of these players. So we've got a good side. Yolson in goal. He's good. He's starting to get slightly old. He's not old, he's 30, but he's starting to kind of maybe we need to consider who is going to be his long-term replacement. I feel like Nelson Gonzalez Martinez might be that man, or maybe even Omar Mustafa, if he can stick around at the club. Right backs, we've got Usman, we know Usman is good. We've got Dennis Ali, the new signing, he's very good. Skellen, feel like I want some potential there, but I'm not sure whether we're going to get it. Matson, this one I'm pleased with. He's a very good player with Matson. We've also got Gutierrez, who maybe defence, maybe this is where we're struggling. Do we need a stronger defence? Probably. Left backs, we've got Kastrup, who, again, he's 24. He's not very good. Maybe Kastrup needs to be replaced. Maybe we need to do a big overhaul. Ackerman, very good player. I like Ackerman. He's been useful for us. Nilden as well. I think he's been a useful player for us as well. I feel like we need a big overhaul. Commentale, he's done well. He's only played 10 times, though, scoring 1 goal. On the wings, we're struggling. Lopa, I don't think it's good enough. Thomas Kovic, I don't think he's good enough either on the wings. Lundberg is an attacker midfielder. I don't think he's good enough. Iram either. I don't think he's just there yet, is he? I feel like we're in a bad place. I genuinely feel like we're in a bad place with this squad. Season 7, we might need to do a big overhaul because we do not have very many good players left in this squad. Financially, we've got 20 million to spend. So we've got the cash to spend. Maybe that's what Season 7 is. Let's use Season 6 as a season of a bit of Champions League, or not Champions League, bit of European fun, but also a team or a season where we lose a lot of players, and now we need to rebuild in Season 7.